Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star 2 episode number 43 based on novel. So let's start. The eternal true gods in the City Lord's mansion are on high alert at all times, fearing that the Heart Shadow Sect will attack. Luo He has taken action and killed the eternal true god of the Heart Shadow Sect. He killed another super large mechanical secret treasure. He destroyed it with one sword. This is his true strength. He is much more terrifying than General Yong Kepar. The entire Huyang city is like a super large mechanical city. The City Lord's mansion is the core, and one can still understand what is happening in the city at any time. Especially when Luo Feng took action, the City Lord's mansion could see it clearly without any cover. The leaders of the 5 major families gathered together to watch the scene recorded of the fight just now. Lord Luo has sword tore such a huge space crack. The power is so terrifying. No wonder he was able to kill Blood Cloud. Moyang Lixia was amazed. His strength is much greater than that of Blood Cloud. And this sword is even more powerful than Blood Cloud. Lord Luo probably killed Shuiyin with just a few strikes outside the city, the Lord of Huyang City exclaimed. That's incredible. The leader of the Wu clan was also excited. Lord Luo has now turned against Jixin Yingmen. That's great. We now have a great helper. Just because Luo He fell out with Xinyin clan doesn't mean he will definitely help us, said the leader of the Meiwu clan. Don't forget that he previously proposed a hiring price of 100 million cosmic sand energy. No matter what, it will be a good thing for us as long as we turn against the Xinyin sect, said the white-haired old man. City Lord, please contact Luo He immediately to see if he needs help. Mo Lixia reminded Huyang City Lord to nod and contact Luo Feng immediately. Brother Luo He, you have fallen out with Xinyin sect and your situation is very dangerous. You can now flee to the City Lord's mansion. Once you enter the City Lord's mansion, with your help, Xinyin sect will not be able to break through the City Lord's mansion. City Lord Huyang sent a message, you can also escape from the city. There are also elite troops sent by the Marquis outside the city to pick you up. No need, Xinyin sect can't do anything to me. Luo Feng responded. The Lord of Huyang City sent a message, I know that the god is very powerful, but the Heart Shadow Sect is also the foundation of the God King level sect. Even if it is in decline, it should not be underestimated. If I need help, I'll ask. Luo Feng said. Okay, as long as you open your mouth, the elite soldiers outside the city will immediately take action. It won't be difficult to rescue Brother Luo He. The Lord of Huyang City said from the side. After the communication with Huyang City Lord was cut off, he looked at his 4 companions. What's going on? The 4 companions are not clear about the situation. Luo He said that he doesn't need our help. Huyang City Lord said self-deprecatingly, and he also said that Xinyin sect can't do anything to him. They don't even take the Heart Shadow Sect seriously. The leader of the Meiwu family couldn't help but say, no wonder they didn't care about our 5 major families in the past. With his strength, who can threaten him if he doesn't make a move in the Chaos Realm? Mo Lixia shook his head. Yes, ordinary people can't do anything to him, but the Heart Shadow Sect has many means. No eternal true god can resist the siege of the Heart Shadow Sect. Lord Huyang said, Lord Luo's only chance of success is to escape. It's amazing that he could escape from the siege of Xinyin sect. Mo Lixia said, I have also synchronized the information here with the elite outside the city. Huyang City Lord said, if Luoku is really in dire straits, the elite outside the city will immediately take action to rescue Luo He, and then Luo He will have to repay the favor of saving his life. The heads of the 5 major families are all watching the city's surveillance scene, they are watching how the situation develops. The 7 Fire Tower is one of the 9 weapon shops established by Qianyang sect disciples. It was jointly established by the 7 outstanding disciples of Qianyang sect. Among the 9 weapon shops, it is the strongest and has the most apprentices. 3 eternal true gods walked in leisurely, either pointing a finger or waving their hands, and the apprentices and guests of the weapon refiners in the 3 areas of the 7 Fires Tower were directly turned into powder, leaving only the weapons left. Hand over all your treasures, or you will die if you disobey. The 3 eternal true gods swept their eyes across the entire 7 Fires Tower. Many practitioners in the 7 Fires Tower were extremely shocked and angry because some of their relatives and friends had died. They have close friends, but if they blindly rush forward in the face of the might of the Heart Shadow Sect, they will only end up committing suicide. The 3 Xingheng true gods saw that no cultivator dared to resist, so they turned around and walked towards another business force nearby with satisfaction. Go to the next one. Master Pomfret, you don't need to kill them at will. Those void true gods don't dare to resist in the first place. The one patrolling outside. A figure in grey said, Brother Chio, you can be faster by using slaughter to shock the plunder. And to comprehend the way of destruction, you must experience the heart of destruction. The smallest of the 3 eternal true gods said, the foundation of our Xinjiang sect's inheritance is the great way of destruction. Neither you nor I have reached the chaos realm yet you are already thinking about destroying the avenue. The grey-cloaked figure shook his head. The effect will be better if you comprehend our sect's inheritance with a heart of destruction. Senior Brother Chio, if you don't want to kill, just watch from the side. The 3 eternal true gods left with disdain, and the grey-cloaked figure watched this scene. It is said that the world beasts born from the great Tao of destruction only know how to destroy. In the end, they were surrounded and killed by the forces of the origin continent. Only the world beast from Qianmu country, which became a slave and dared not be killed indiscriminately, survived. The grey-cloaked figure Chiao Yi sighed secretly, the Xinjiang sect has acted recklessly. Last time, they accidentally killed the bloodline of the Nine-Source Great Sage, which caused the Nine-Source Great Sage to come and kill them. The Xinjiang sect has completely declined. Until now, the Xinjiang sect still refuses to learn from its mistakes and refuses to repent. Yes, the ancestor who founded the Xinjiang sect was the one who comprehended the great way of destruction. The 5 God King level inheritances left behind by Li all contain the great way of destruction. The grey-cloaked figure shook his head slightly. But the ancestors are dead, and wanton destruction will only lead to self-destruction in the end. Master has been very kind to me. Without him, I wouldn't be where I am today. That's why I rushed back across the territories of 5 divine kingdoms just to help the sect establish its foundation. The grey-cloaked figure looked around. If it's the Heart Shadow Gate Blade environment, then I really don't like it. After the sect has established its foundation, I have repaid the favor and there is no need to return. The grey-cloaked figure said silently. Suddenly, the grey-cloaked figure's pupils shrank as he watched a cold figure with a black robe and a sword appear. When this figure appeared, there was naturally an invisible sword energy spreading out, and the heart was placed between heaven and earth. It's Luo He, the most powerful eternal true god of Yu country. The grey-cloaked figure's heart trembled. He is indeed stronger than me. Hui Yuanqiu was very confident. But when he saw Lord Luoha, he knew that he was no match for him. After Luo Feng appeared through the void, he glanced at all the Xinjiang sect disciples below and they were trembling with fear. Lord Luo He. The sword refiners and apprentices of the 7 Fire Tower were all excited. As disciples of the Qianyang sect, almost all of them knew Luo Feng. Did the Xinjiang sect carry out a massacre? Luo Feng glanced in the moonlight and saw many storage objects, weapons and secret treasures scattered on the ground. They did carry out a massacre? An equipment refiner spoke immediately, and his divine power appeared in front of him, showing the scene of the massacre by the 3 eternal true gods just now. As soon as the 3 of them arrived, they started slaughtering without saying a word. Luo Feng looked at the slaughter scene that appeared and nodded, I understand. His domain of birth and death has covered a vast area, and within the area covered are the 3 eternal true gods. As soon as Luo Feng thought of it, the 3 eternal true gods who were bound were caught off guard and were forcibly moved to the 7 Fire Tower. The 3 of them looked at the weapon refiner from the 7 Fire Tower in amazement. The apprentices and guests also saw Luo Feng in black robes. Lord Luoha, we in Xinjiang sect respect you very much. The 3 eternal true gods said flatteringly. Suddenly, all the disciples of the Xinjiang sect in Huyang City received the news. All disciples, listen to my order. Lord Luo has defeated our Xinjiang sect. A super-large mechanical secret treasure has become our Xinjiang sect's great enemy. When you see Lord Luo, flee immediately. The order has been delivered. The top leaders of Xinjiang sect reacted quickly. They knew that ordinary disciples would die in front of Luo, Divine Lord, so they just let them escape. Run, 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 run. Many of the Xinjiang sect's disciples were so frightened that they ran away frantically. The three eternal true gods who were bound in midair were filled with despair. It's over, Lord Luo. The three of them wanted to say more and hoped that Lord Luo would let them go. Luo Feng looked at them and said, I'm too lazy to say more. Buzz. The power in the realm of birth and death flowed, and the three eternal true gods seemed to be crushed into powder by a huge millstone and died on the spot. The weapon refiners, apprentices and guests who witnessed this scene were all excited. Good kill. They deserved to die? They had long been filled with hatred. Luo Feng waved his hand and gathered all the practitioners of the Seven Fire Tower. He then walked through the void and headed for the next equipment refining shop. After Luo Feng left, the disciples of Xinjiang sect in the distance breathed a sigh of relief. The super-large mechanical secret treasure that was escaping also stopped. This is the strength of Luo, God. These disciples were trembling. In the distance, the seemingly inconspicuous grey-clothed man Li Yi watched this scene and said, Brother Xiao, I have long advised you not to wantonly kill people. There are also causes and consequences in this world. There must be consequences for every cause. The leader of the Xinjiang sect and the 18 Chang elders gathered at the Xinjiang sect headquarters in Chaos Zone A. They are either real bodies or incarnations of divine power. Master. Na Luo has already attacked my Xinjiang sect. In the Moyu refining shop, he killed 10 eternal true gods. Chang Lao asked anxiously, at this point, do we still have to endure it? Why did he suddenly take action? The leader of Xinjiang sect said anxiously, the Moyu refining shop was established by Luo, Divine Lord, and his two servants. Moyu Qingyan's younger brother Moyu Liuxing. Elder Chang said, my disciple Chan Wuqi of Xinjiang sect is responsible for confiscating the treasures and killing the practitioners of the Moyu refining shop, including Moyu Liu's younger brother. The leader of Xinjiang sect frowned and said, he turned against us for his servant brother. Many old Changs thought that this Luo god was too crazy. After arriving at the Moyu refining shop, the angry Luo he first killed Chan Wuqi. At that time, he was standing next to the super-large mechanical secret treasure, Black Fire Beast. Just because he asked, Luo he destroyed the Black Fire Beast with a knife, killing 11 eternal true gods and a large number of disciples. He also said, I do things, and you dare to speak up. Are you really looking for death? This Luo river is really crazy, said old Chang. The other elders were also very angry. Angry that this Luo, Divine Lord, did not take them seriously at all. The leader of the Xinjiang sect was still hesitating. I'll contact Luo He, said the Xinjiang sect leader. What do you want to contact? The Xinjiang Chang said, Master, are you still going to endure this? Luo He attacked again. The Xinjiang sect leader, the 18th Chang, saw the Sect Station Investigation Force scene. Luo Feng appeared in the Seven Fire Tower and crushed the three eternal true gods of the Xinjiang sect to death. They just killed 3 eternal true gods of my Xinjiang sect openly. Do you still want to endure this, Sect Master? Master, you can bear it, but I can't. Master. Each of the elders felt the rage burning in their hearts and they were unwilling to endure it any longer. The leader of Xinjiang sect watched this scene and summoned the scattered disciples outside to come to the Xinjiang sect, which was originally scattered, and they just barely held it together in order to lay the foundation of the sect. If Lord Luo were to endure such open killings, the disciples of Xinjiang sect would probably become even more alienated. If we don't take action now, the disciples of Xinjiang sect may have lost their temper. If you are afraid of even a Luo god, why do you want to fight against the army of Lord Zhejiang? Most of the Chan elders were unwilling to tolerate it. The leader of Xinjiang sect sighed secretly. Things are no longer something he can stop. The Xinjiang sect leader's 3 eyes were full of murderous intent. He said, "We gave Luo her God enough face, but he trampled on the face of our Xinjiang sect. It's not our Xinjiang sect's fault. Before the battle, we will practice with Lord Luoha. We must kill him this time and not let him escape." The 18 elders responded in unison. Even though a few of them still had doubts, the sect leader ordered all of them to stop thinking about it. The only way for the entire Xinjiang sect to do this now is to unite and work together to get rid of this arrogant Lord Luoha. After leaving Menghua Tower, Marosa traveled through the void twice and arrived above an ordinary cave in the Shuadong district of Huyang City. In this cave lived creatures of the thousand-leaf fine grass clan. "Your Majesty, Aluya has told us everything. We are willing to follow you out of the city." A void true god headed by the thousand-leaf fine grass clan saluted respectfully. Although a small number of the tribesmen are not in the cave at the moment, it is obviously too late, and they are lucky to be able to take most of them away. "Okay." The honest-looking Marosa nodded, and with a wave of his hand, he collected all the creatures and buildings in the cave, leaving only the bare land and lake. When collecting the thousand-leaf fine grass clan, Marosa also telepathically sent a message to Luo Feng, "Master, I have saved the owner of Menghua Tower, Aluya, and almost all the creatures in Menghua Tower. Aluya asked me for help, so I also saved the thousand-leaf fine grass clan. Is everything going well?" Luo Feng asked. "It's going pretty well. The Xinjiang sect all knows that I'm the master's servant and they didn't dare to attack me. Although they wanted to stop me from rescuing the practitioners of Menghua Tower, I ignored them." Marosa transmitted the message. "There are 9 refinery shops established by Qianyang sect's disciples. You need to help rescue all the practitioners in these 3 refinery shops." Luo Feng transmitted the message and sent the detailed addresses of the 3 refinery shops to Marosa. "I have already taken action against Xinjiang sect. If they see you again, they may also take action. You need to be careful." "Haha, let's take action." Marosa was very excited. "We need to move quickly. I guess the Xinjiang sect has already begun to mobilize its forces to deal with me. We can't delay too long," Luo Feng said. "Don't worry," Marosa said confidently. It had been 5 epochs since he entered the Chaos Realm, and his understanding of the great Tao of the origin of destruction had also become deeper and deeper. Even if his strength is suppressed to the same level as the Heart Eye Elder, his methods can be much more bizarre. If he wants to go to the Heart Shadow sect, there is no way to stop him. Marosa naturally did not take the Heart and Eye Gate seriously, but he was afraid that the ancient gods and kings of the origin continent would come to hunt him down, so he had to follow his master's orders and play the role of the protector well. Marosa could obviously reach another weapon refining shop in 1 step, but he still traveled through the void 3 times before reaching a weapon refining shop. The leader of the Xinjiang sect and the 18 elders gathered together. They were either their real bodies or incarnations of divine power. They were all looking at the scene spied on by the sect's formation. One was the scene where Luo Feng went to the weapon refining shop and brazenly killed the eternal true god and took away all the practitioners in the weapon refining shop. The other was the scene where Marosa was also saving the practitioners in the weapon refining shop. It was discovered that the servants of the slaughterer Morisaro River Lord also killed him. His name is Luo Sa. He used to disguise himself as the true god of the void. But according to the intelligence, Lord Luoha brought his servant Luo Sa with him to hunt down Lord Shuayan. We have long suspected that this Luo Sa is not ordinary enough. Under the suppression of the sect's formation, this Luo Sa can easily travel through the void with the help of mechanical secret treasures. If he relies on his own strength, I'm afraid his strength will surpass most of the Chan elders. This Rosa is so powerful, yet he is willing to be a servant. He may be a guardian sent by a big force. Their strengths should be complementary to each other. These old men are extremely knowledgeable. It is clear that the Chaos Realm moves of the superpowerful eternal true god Shan Qiao should be in different directions, but once they are matched, they can make up for the opponent's shortcomings and are enough to deal with most dangerous situations. It will be even more difficult if they join forces to kill them. Many old people started to worry. The force we sent out is strong enough, said the Xinjiang sect master calmly and confidently. Suddenly, Master, I heard that Luo, his servant Luo Sa, is also very strong. Do you need me to take action? A message was sent to Master Qiu Yi, the hidden force of Xinjiang sect. When we go to war with the army of Lord Zhejiang, that's when you should take action. The leader of Xinjiang sect responded. We can only use some public forces to deal with Luo He and Luo Sa this time. I sent out the Heart Demon Gao Liuying to kill Chen, and the Great Destruction Array is already 50% of the strength of my Heart Shadow sect, which is enough to deal with them. The leader of the Heart Shadow sect responded. Okay. Qiu Yi didn't say anything more. When the Xinjiang sect master thought of Qiu Yi, his sect disciple, he felt somewhat fortunate. He did not expect that when he gathered the disciples scattered all over the origin continent, there would be a surprise. Qiu Yi, who was only considered a relatively good eternal true god, has actually grown to the point where he is almost as good as the old man in Xinjiang. The most important thing is that Qiu Yi has cultivated the God King level inheritance, Heart Shadow Speed, to a very high level and can even control the Heart Shadow Demon General, the secret treasure of the Gate's mechanical treasure. Xinjiang sect has 5 God King level inheritances. Any eternal true God level disciple who passes the test can learn part of the God King level inheritance. Among these 5 inheritances, the Heart Shadow technique is the most respected and is also the most difficult to practice. The name of the entire Xinjiang sect comes from Xinjiang Ju. Once Qiu Yi controls the sect's secret treasure, the Xinjiang demon, he will be more difficult to deal with than the Xinjiang Chan Lao Xin Mo Yuan. However, Qiu Yi was aloof and arrogant and didn't want to communicate with other elders. With his ability, he is fully capable of taking on the role of Chan Lao. It's a pity that once this war is over, he will leave. The leader of Xinjiang sect was also helpless. Not only is he kind-hearted, but also Elder Chang will leave after the war. This time they came back either because of the kindness of the sect's teachings or because of the orders of Chaos Realm. Even more than half of the disciples of Xinjiang sect have already taken root in many places in the origin continent, and they ignored the call of Xinjiang sect. This Luo He is really cruel and ruthless. If you find any disciples of Xinjiang sect slaughtering people, just kill them at will. The sect master and the 18 elders were all anxious. Elder Xinyan, you haven't arrived yet. They looked at Elder Xinyan's divine incarnation. Just relying on me to control the heart demon kite, you are only equal to him. There is no way to stop him. Once I show up, he may directly escape, said the old man with the heart eyes. I'm waiting for the 6 shadow killing array to converge. At that time, I will trap him together with the 6 shadow killing array, and then, when the Great Destruction Array is activated, I can kill him completely. The Great Destruction Array requires 360 eternal true gods to drive, and is one of the real killer moves of the Heart Shadow sect. Lord Luohe and his servant Luosa have both taken action to save the disciples of Qianyang sect and build a weapon refining shop. They both acted very ruthlessly. This Luo Sa's strength seems to be no less than that of Shui Yun. The leaders of the 5 major families in the City Lord's mansion were a little surprised when they saw the scene they monitored. It was normal for Luo Feng to be strong, but the strength of Luo Sa was a little surprising to them. Before, Her Highness the Princess came on behalf of the king to recruit Luo He, but Luo He refused. He really has a great background. The Lord of Huyang City said, this Luo Sa is very low-key, but his strength is close to Luo Heji. Ha ha, the stronger they are, the better. Having the help of Lord Luohe and his servants will be a great help in the war. The leader of the Wutai family felt that the hope of victory was a little greater. After all, one eternal true god of this level is worth 1,000 elite troops, not to mention 2 appearing at once. The owner of Yangfeng Guild Hall, Di Chuyu, was also watching the progress of the war in the city. This Luo He really has some background. Emperor Chuyu looked at him with a worried look. No matter what their origins are, they are not as good as our Di Chu lineage, said the deputy museum owner. The ancient country of Yangfeng is the most powerful force in the continent of origin. The only one who can compare with it is the royal family of the ancient country of Leitang. Of course, if the legendary Yuan is willing to accept disciples, it will be more attractive, but Yuan does not have the leisure time to concentrate on teaching his disciples. It is already a great opportunity to obtain the power he left behind. From the way he moves, it seems that his realm is very deep, but it's a bit messy. Emperor Chuyu looked at their Chaos Realm moves, which contained the charm of the Great Tao of Life and the Great Tao of Destruction. Emperor Chuyu shook his head slightly. From this we can see that the inheritance behind him is also very ordinary, and he is probably just an ordinary god king. Yes? The deputy museum owner nodded. The supreme rules contain the origin of the avenue. Each origin of the avenue is a clear guide. It means that it will be difficult to make progress without any guidance and can only explore on your own. These royal children knew very well that when practicing cultivation, one should not be too focused on one path. With a complete inheritance and clear guidance from the origin of the Great Way, things would naturally go much more smoothly. If there is no clear guidance for the avenue, the difficulty of integrating different avenues will be more than 100 times higher. It's okay. He hasn't even mastered the basics of the Great Tao yet. Once he returns to the ancient country and inherits part of the inheritance of my Dichu lineage, he will know how to practice. Dichu said. Luo Feng directly collected all the apprentices of the weapon refiners in the weapon refinery shops. Wherever he passed by, he killed any eternal true gods who were slaughtering people. Strange Xinjiang men, why are they so slow? Luo Feng had been prepared for a long time, but he had never encountered the real powerful killing moves of Xinjiang men. Luo Feng has already received the 5th air refining shop. All the apprentices of the weapon refiners in the weapon refinery shop of Lord Luo were excited. When the surrounding Wang Xinjiang men disciples saw Luo Feng young, they fled without hesitation. Luo Feng's life and death field sensed something and immediately waved his hand to collect the many practitioners who were refining weapons, then looked up into the distance. In the distance, a mechanical secret treasure in the shape of a black bird appeared and formed a formation of 6 super-large mechanical secret treasures, Heart Demon Kite. Luo Feng recognized at a glance the Heart Demon Kite, one of the famous secret treasures of the Heart Shadow Sect. Each of the Xinjiang Sect's secret treasures is very powerful and contains many magical properties, but some of them have been lost over the years, and the Xinjiang Sect is unable to use most of the remaining secret treasures. The threshold for using the town's secret treasure is extremely high. Morosa has another equipment refinery shop that I'll give to you. Luo Feng sent another message to Morosa with an address. I took 5 of the 9 weapon refineries for myself, and the other 4 could only be handed over to Morosa. Don't worry, Master, leave it to me. Morocco was still very relaxed and did not encounter any strong resistance. Luo He. A huge black bird with scarlet eyes said, My Xinjiang Sect respects you, but you wantonly kill my Xinjiang Sect disciples. You are really courting death. Stop talking nonsense. Luo Feng was too lazy to say more because the longer the time went on, the stronger the power that Xinjiang Sect would mobilize. Luo Feng instantly soared into the sky. In the sky, the power of the dark formation fully erupted. The vast dark vortex enveloped and bound him. The Heart Demon Vulture and the 6 Shadow Killers acted at the same time. Humph! Luo Feng's divine power was burning at this moment. He exerted his divine power to exert the field of life and death. The vast field of life and death, which was like a Tai Chi cloud, spread in all directions and directly hit the dark vortex. After all, this is a super large-scale sect formation, and its power against individuals is only slightly greater than the original Huyang City formation. Slightly stronger, but far inferior to Luo Feng's life and death domain. The Tai Chi cloud spread in all directions, and Luo Feng stood in the center of the sky holding the blood shadow knife. 6 huge blurry shadows stood in the 6 directions, as if they had trapped this world and Luo Feng as well. The Heart Demon Kite let out a piercing cry and pounced towards Luo Feng. This cry directly impacted Luo Feng's will. Die? While launching the will attack, the Heart Demon Eagle grabbed Luo Feng fiercely, and this grab tore the space apart, creating cracks in the space. Will attack? It was like a fragile egg crashing into a mountain with an indomitable will. This video will end here.